They just want to say I like this property. I just want to pay without finding out, okay, is this document available? What's the timeline for your allocation? What's the timeline before I get my document and all that?
But if one customer has issues with your business, that's like 100 customers more. Because they will go out and spread the word. And before you know it, it's like
Before you see a company on Insta blog.
it goes fast like wildfire.
Welcome to Blueprint by Blue Dutch, and with me here I have my special guests.
Precious.
And
No, the land strategist.
okay, Nigerians are currently tired of sugar-coated promises around sales of real estate, and there are very common challenges around the business of real estate. We want to understand this morning how realistic or how real these challenges are. Are these promises or are these problems tangible enough? Are they real? Are they conversations that come up from time to time? And one of them is around the question of title allocation and delivery dates. So to you, Noel, do you think is an existential problem in terms of allocation dates? You know, a lot of persons, we see it every day, almost every day. There are conversations around people paying for properties, and the companies make promises that in 3 months' time, allocation will be done. And in 3 years, no allocation, no land. And that's one of those real estate wahala we already have. So what do you have to say? Are these problems actually real? Do they really exist?
Yeah, these are actually real problems. And we've seen this over and over again in the real estate space. And there was actually a trend, it was not last year or some years back, about a company, I don't want to mention the company name,
Okay.
whereby they sold land to a large number of people, but they did not allocate to them. I think from that same company, someone reached out to me recently and said they bought property from that company. It was 2 months ago, it was allocated his property. For 2 years ago, he bought the property.
Now we've established the fact that these are existential problems. To you, Precious, do you think is enough reason for people to shy away from investing in real estate?
Well, I have 2 answers for this particular question. First, yes, it's enough reason. If you've lost a lot of money, because real estate is a high ticket business, if you lost a lot of money, you might want to give up and I am not doing this anymore. But then I have another answer. No, it's not enough reason. And this is my reason. Because a product or a particular service is bad, that doesn't mean every other service around that particular business is bad.
Okay.
So I will encourage people that when you are going into a particular business that has to involve a lot of money, you have to do a proper risk management, understand what are the things that you are going to experience when you are going there. You don't just dive head first. You have to do proper research, proper background check of that company or whoever you are carrying that's bringing the service to you or the product. I'm going to give you an example now. Like if you are buying a car or you want to buy a car and you're saying, oh, this person had accident, that person had accident. Are you going to say because of those accidents you're not going to get a car anymore?
Sure.
So that's how it is with real estate too. Because one company made a mistake, that doesn't mean every other
Company is bad.
Be that kind of thing. So that's my answer.
True. And maybe because there are companies out there that care so much about their reputation and integrity, so they won't want to make such mistake. But who is to be blamed in situations like this? Is it the company or the clientele? Who are we to blame? Noel, who are we to blame?
Okay, it's actually in 2 ways. I would say it's not actually a blame game.
Okay.
But on the part of the client, you're supposed to do your due diligence before going ahead to acquire a property. You have to understand the timeline for allocation, the timeline for collection of your documents. So before you go ahead to do any business, you have to be sure the way they operate.
So you are trying to say that it's the client's fault?
Yeah, it can be the client's fault. Yeah.
Okay.
But it can also be the company's fault as well.
Okay.
So if there's no proper communication, you don't understand how they just want to show you land. And you say, I like this property, and you just went ahead to pay without finding out, okay, is this document available? What's the timeline for your allocation? What is the timeline before I get my document and all that? So without asking those questions, you are just like, you are moved by emotion. You love this thing and you just went ahead to buy it. But this is a high ticket product. You have to be sure you do your proper findings and be sure it works, it's favorable to you.
Okay.
That can afford to wait for 2 years, but a lot of people cannot wait for 2 years to get the document.
I won't even wait. I won't wait.
Because it's a document that shows that you actually own that property.
Exactly.
You know, this conversation is around allocation.
Yeah.
So let's stick to allocation.
Right.
So we are putting the blame on the client. To you, Precious, who are we to blame? Do you agree with him or do you have an opposite reaction to that?
Well, in most case scenarios, I blame the company.
Okay. Interesting.
The company who decide that, okay, I want to start something without doing proper research on the kind of business you want to go into. You know, most of this, when it comes to land issues or real estate issues, you have to, there's a lot of people you have to, connect with in order for you not to have issues with both the people you are connecting with
Okay.
and the client.
The client.
So when you don't do all those due diligence, you end up causing problems for yourself, for the people you are connecting with, and for the client, and then everybody's clashing.
Sure.
And then you cannot blame the client then, because client trusts you. I cannot come to you and you tell me that this is what you are doing, and I decide, okay, let me buy.
Yes.
For me to buy, I already trusted you, so I don't need to go into. You already showed me everything. You showed me. For instance, now your company has a website.
Sure.
You showed me this, and I've gone there. Most of the information of the company is there, and I felt like, okay, I can trust these people, and I want to invest my money there. Are you not going to say after investing my money, everything has?
Then after 1 year, 2 years, after making promises, no allocation.
No, I can't be the one to blame. So if you know you cannot do something, I believe you shouldn't go into
Better
it.
don't just start. Maybe go into another business. Go and
So
say
don't blame
quickly
the client.
and akara. Okay.
So in nutshell, it's just about you understanding the kind of investments you are going into, know the risk factor,
Yes.
know the
Okay.
timeline.
Now, do you think this is a good premise for one person who have had a bad experience to now shy away from it? Because for me, it makes so much sense. If someone gets a bad review from trying to acquire a property from a company, and the day of allocation gets to that date, no allocation till after 2 years, 3 years, you don't get your land. For me, I still feel like that's enough reason for me. I would rather invest in something else already, or maybe put my money in the bank and just know that, or even spend my money. You understand? Spend my money. But okay, that's not the bone of contention. Today, we want to analyze how we can find remedies to these situations. So what could be the common remedy? What solution can we proffer to clients? Okay, because we will not just focus on the company. When we have business or company meetings, okay, we'll know how to advise companies, how to maintain and build reputation and be on their integrity watchword. So for our clients, or for those watching this video currently, because I know a lot of them out there are watching this video, what can they do? How can they proffer solutions to these outstanding problems?
Okay, I'll speak from the standpoint of the client.
Okay.
One thing you should do is this: we'll talk about due diligence. Companies have the way they operate.
Okay.
Some companies, they do their allocation within 3 months.
True.
While there are still other companies who do allocation in 2 weeks, some in 3 days. They do the allocation.
True.
72 hours.
True.
3 days. So it just depends on the company you are working with. There should not be pressure, right? But just understand the way they operate. If they tell you in 3 months, just look forward to that 3 months, right? So understand their timeline. Doing your due diligence is a way out of this.
Okay, so you feel most clients don't ask questions when it comes to that process of making purchase for their property, or they don't ask enough questions?
Maybe they don't ask enough questions should be the better thing to say.
Well,
Okay.
me, I am opposing. Okay, not completely opposing, but
Okay.
I want you to understand something. There's a saying that customers always right. So you cannot, even if they don't ask questions, they ask questions.
True.
It is your duty to ensure that they enjoy your services and they don't have any complaint about your business. Because if one customer have issues with your business, that's like 100 customers more. Because they will go out and spread the word.
True.
And before you know, it is like
Before you see your company on Insta blog.
it goes fast like wildfire everywhere.
And that's why I think understanding the timeline. Communication is key. This is a business. Even though the company tell you 3 months and 3 months come, they are not able to do their allocation. They have to reach out to you.
Because I think if as a client, for instance, you should have a need for that property.
Yes.
For any property you want to buy, you should have a need for it. So whether it's for inheritance, you want to keep it for your children, or for personal projects, you should be more intentional than that property, because it's your investment. We are talking about money. We're talking about millions of naira here. So why don't you think the client should up their game in asking relevant questions? So my own is, what questions were you asking? Like,
it might be that they might ask relevant questions.
Exactly.
They might ask questions,
Okay.
but some companies have the way they operate, and they will have to work with the.
and some of them might be actually deceptive
I
too.
feel like some companies should work on their own policies. Some
Okay.
policies are too rigid. It's supposed to be flexible.
Flexible. Yeah,
Just like
I
what
understand.
I meant.
You know,
Like,
I'll give the instance of a company that allocate in 3 months. Let's assume now they did their first allocation, and in 3 months they allocated to put that bought within that time frame.
True.
So 3 months time now they did allocation. The next day you bought a property. How do you expect them to allocate for you when they have the structure of 3 months? So you have to wait till that 3 months. It gets to that 3 months before you allocated your property. Doesn't mean that they are fraudulent, but that is a
okay. I get what you're saying, but then it's also in the position of the company to always follow up every client, no matter even if you've given them your rules before.
Yeah.
If whether they are coming back or they are new customers or new clients, you have to still let them know. Okay, sir, thank you for buying,
Yeah.
and that. You tell them, please, be reminded that our allocation
Date.
Yeah.
comes in 3 months. So even despite the fact that you've been a previous buyer and you're buying again, you have to still wait for another 3 months.
Yeah.
And you've messaged them again maybe in 1 month time, sir, be reminded.
Yeah.
You have to keep
And
following
that's why
up.
we say communication is key.
Yeah, so companies too should also step up their games. You can't say because it's 3 months, I told him it's 3 months, let him wait. No, one week to the time, remind. 2 months, remind. 1 month, so that they will be reminded. Okay, yeah, it's so they won't think you left them or you have run away.
Yeah.
So I think that's a reasonable.
That's a beautiful one. Now let's take it higher a little bit. If I go to the market to get, let's say, a shoe for myself, I expect to see the shoe, pay for the shoe, and take it home. Now, down to real estate, do you think it's possible for one to pay for a property and get that property in 24 hours or even 48 hours? Now, what parameters can be put in place to even make that possible, if it is actually possible?
Well, I believe there are companies that have structures, and the way they structure it is to make the client's life better and make them more comfortable, because they are all about customers first. When you are a customer first company,
Yeah.
everything that you see, you even enjoy, you yourself, you enjoy the customers because they are happy. So basically, yes, it is possible. There are companies that already have that structure that within 24 hours, 48 hours, you can actually get your land allocation, and you yourself, you'll be happy. So yes, there are companies like that, and they are structured. They have structures placed for that particular thing to come to life. So yes.
No, do you want to throw more light to that? Are there parameters? Do you think there are things companies can do to keep up such outstanding level of reputation and performance?
Yeah.
In terms of allocation, of course.
It's very possible, because I've actually seen it.
Okay.
There are companies whereby we've gone for inspection, and that same day they did allocation for the clients before even getting to the office to make payment, because the client already showed that it's serious to pay for that property that day complete. So sometimes allocation, you might not be allocated if you've not made your complete payment for the property. So your allocation comes when you made your payments complete, then you are eligible to be allocated once the time gets.
Okay.
And they are still I said it's allocation, inspection, allocation done immediately. So it actually works when the client is ready to make commitments that day of the inspection. Else if you are making a deposit, then we note it down. Then once you complete your payment,
the plan for allocation. Okay. Now let's drive it around a little bit. Let's compare between allocation and document delivery dates. Okay, so which comes first, or which should come first, or which is more relevant? Is it the document or the allocation process?
Well, I believe that documentation is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because,
True. That's your land.
Documentation is very important. If you are paid,
Yeah.
documentation is very, very. If you like, they show you that your land is in the front of the road. You don't have any paperwork to show
prove.
that is where your land is. What's in all?
Okay. No, I want to throw more light to that.
Yeah, like she has said, documentation is very important, because it's document that really shows that you own the property.
Yes.
So I think there are even companies that even do they give their client documents 2 weeks after they've
done allocation,
their payment, and after they've made their payments and everything, they give them 2 weeks after. Then the allocation come later.
Okay. So let's hear your final words to clients. What's your final words to these clients in terms of document delivery date and allocation timeline?
All right. So I would say, before you do business with any company, ask questions to verify the timeline of delivery for allocation and for documents.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And what are your last words? Okay.
So on the client's part, I believe that what they can do to ensure that they don't fall victim and they do proper risk management is by checking the track record of that particular company and ensuring to get proper reviews, because it's not, some of them can put fake reviews on their website. So you have to do deep research, because money is very important. You don't need to waste it.
And money doesn't have to waste. Okay, so thank you so much for being on today's show, Blueprint with Blue Dutch. And of course, thank you for having me too. Okay, and thank you to all our viewers out there. See you next time on Blueprints with Blue Dutch. Catch ya.